All praises to the Most High. This is Elliot. I tell you, I really look forward to spending time outside as much as possible, because when you get that opportunity just to get away from the hustle and bustle of what this world's doing, you can get some powerful downloads from the Most High. You can allow your stress to kind of melt away. And, it really doesn't matter where you are. I know a lot of times people try to get to certain parts of the country or wherever they're located to find the most beautiful scenery and the beautiful elements to connect with. However, sometimes you just got to get out, even if it's your front yard, backyard, sure, just whatever, just to do something different. And I think it's important because when you get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of the things that are going on, all the bad news, the calamities, a lot of it's fabricated. Good man, how are you? You just don't know how to process that information all the time. So the best thing I do, but what works for me, is to get out and look at some of the animals, man, and look at the trees and know that they're not concerned about what's going on, although they're in touch, but they're not concerned about what's going on the news or what's being spread across social media. They're just doing what they do. And it's a stark reminder for us to do what we need to do, despite all the noise and things that are going on around us. Just stop, and they used to say, smell the roses, right? So, in the meantime, as I'm out here, I want to talk to you guys about something that I really believe is important for us to do as followers of the Most High God, His Son, Yahshua, the Holy Scriptures, and the Bible. When we fellowship with one another, when we have the opportunity to fellowship with other believers, it's important to do so in a manner that is bringing upon encouragement and edification of one another, to build each other up. If you're just talking about nonsense, the things of this world, the things that don't matter, then what different are you than someone who is just following the ways of this world? Are you someone who is literally providing, I want to say light, but I don't want to use that all the time. Are you imparting into someone else's life encouragement, hope, helping them build their faith? In Proverbs 18:21, one of my favorite scriptures, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And when you know that, you should be very, very specific, aware, and responsible of the things that come out of your mouth. Now let's break that down to current times. The things that come out of your phone when you text someone, the things that come out of your computer or your phone when you email someone. All these things have to be done in a way where you are literally speaking life into people, because it's so important. Because when it comes to When it comes to having a life where you know the Most High and you're walking with Him, you're following His laws, statutes, and commandments, you have to be able to discern and know what could be coming across, the things that you are going to be able to encourage other people with. And knowing that the times are what they are today, we need each other to speak life into each other's lives. We need each other to help build us up when we're fighting through our strongholds. Because the world offers plenty of the alternative. You can go out into the world and participate in death easily, right? You can get caught up in the clubs, on social media, even your work, even your job, and just get caught up in just talking about nothing. So that's why it's so important as we fellowship that we literally, on purpose, take the time to encourage one another, to send the email when you think about someone, or even when you don't, force yourself to. Write it down. Say, hey, I'm going to send somebody a word of encouragement today. I'm going to write a text to someone and say, I remember when you told me that you were struggling with something and you needed me to pray for it. I wanted to let you know that I prayed, and hopefully you've seen a change in your situation. Sometimes maybe you want to talk to someone and say, I have been stuck somewhere in my life. There's something that's been holding me down. But after I spoke to you last time, it really encouraged me and increased my faith to go further, and I had my breakthrough. So you can actually give someone confirmation and encouragement by letting them know that they helped you. That's very important too. You see, like I said, when I'm outside, sometimes we get too busy to even take the time to do the simple things that are so important in our relationship when we're dealing with fellow believers. And I'm not saying that this has to be with believers only. Of course, we need each other now more than ever. But if someone's not following the word, or they're not at the same place that you may be, doesn't mean they cannot be encouraged. Doesn't mean that you can't call them up and say hello, especially if it's a relative or something. Tell them that you were thinking about them. Ask them if there's anything that you could do for them. See, this is how true relationships and holy relationships are cultivated. Because we have words, and like I said, with life and death being in the power of the tongue, and those that eat it shall eat. Those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Hold on a second. It's a crossing up here. I'm going to wait till the traffic dies down. So, like I said, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. We should know that we have to be very, very specific and on purpose with the words that we have. Like, it's no need to just waste words. When somebody's around and they talk all the time about just anything, just talking too much, that's a clue. That's a signal to know that, hey, maybe they're not talking about anything. Because wasted words is just like a clanging in the ear. And it can disrupt your spirit. It could distract you. It could take you away from what's really important. But when you take your words seriously and you really try to make sure that you're purposeful with your words and you're delivering them to actually sow a seed into someone's life, a powerful seed, something that will bring back the fruit. And those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. It can make you a more powerful person in your walk. People have the gift of gab, and I do believe that that is a gift sometimes, to be able just to speak, put words together eloquently, and communicate well. But even with that gift, you can oftentimes speak too much if your words aren't making any impact. The way I look at it sometimes is that I'd rather just open my mouth and talk when it matters. But that's a personality thing, really, when it comes down to me, because I've kind of always been that way, but it's worked. For some people, they may not speak enough because they have maybe shy or not even know the importance of what it is or what it takes to be able to encourage someone like that. Now, my glasses are fogging up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My job now.
So, all I have to say is people outside, people probably get outside more often than I do. And they seem to be happy, having a good time, and doing what they need to do. And I'm just following suit. So, again, with your words, you guys, with your relationships, with fellow believers, take the time to make sure that you take time to use this powerful tongue in an impactful and appropriate way to help edify and build our nation, to help us be broken from strongholds, to help us get over hurdles, to help us have confidence and peace and the ability to go further in these last days. It can all be done with this, within our relationships. And likewise, on the other side, that death is real. The last thing you want to be is the one who is known to respond or to deliver death out of your tongue, to sour someone's spirit, to make them feel inadequate, to make them feel fear, to make them feel less than what the Most High would have them be at this point. There's a story that I have about a friend of mine who I was having a conversation with. And let me tell you, this wasn't even that long ago. It's probably like over 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. And I'm well seasoned in my walk with the Most High. I already knew who he was. I wasn't in the truth then, I don't think. No, I definitely wasn't. However, I knew better to know how powerful the tongue is. And I called him and told him a story. I'm gonna go into detail. And he called me back later the next day, and he was telling me that what happened from that conversation that I had with him, he said that it made him feel some type of way. He said, man, that story you were telling me, I really had to pray, and basically I imparted demons. This story wasn't appropriate. He was a friend from back in college, and I was talking to him like we were still back in college. And long story short, just being completely honest and transparent, I felt some type of way. I never forgot that. He literally told me that he had to pray and that he was going to pray for me and hopefully that I was okay and I was still staying close to the Most High. And the thing was, when I said it, I didn't even know. But sometimes you can be so filled up with things in your spirit, demonic oppression, I'll put it that way. All right, I'm not going to go as far as possession, but oppression are spirits that are talking on your behalf, that you can literally transfer those to people and speak death. Even when you're not speaking it over their life, you can just speak death from the overflow of what's coming out of your heart. It's real. So look, this is what I'll leave you with today. Be very mindful of your tongue, of your relationships, and the responsibility you have as being called, chosen, and set apart by the Most High to do His will in these last days, and how much power that you have in this weapon, the tongue. You can speak blessings and not curses. See people healed, set free, delivered, encouraged, satisfied, filled up, moving towards a righteous path, a holy path. You can do this right now. You don't have to be a minister. So I encourage you today to think of someone to call. And if you don't call them today or tonight, maybe call them the next day or this weekend. And just encourage them. Even if you leave a voicemail, encourage them. Say something nice. Build them up. Be known to be that friend or that person in their life that is providing life and not death. That they don't want to run from you or have to pray spirits away because you open your mouth. And like I said, get outside. I'm just on a little trail today. Actually, I'm gonna go back this way. And you don't do what you gotta do. All praises to the Most High. This is Elliot. Until the next time we speak, shalom.